Stars, we want you to share our blessings. Several cheers rose up from the crowd as watching Bism seemed delighted by the possibilities that the human had laid out. There was so much needless death and suffering that the aliens' advanced science could conquer. There was a great deal of knowledge the numerous civilizations in the sapient coalition must have acquired. This altruistic rhetoric should make it evident that they intended to better our society, not to eradicate it like Bissam colonizers on Nelman, or whatever had been done to the Thafki and the Goji. If we were the first ones the SC had reached out to as an organization, I wanted to tell them they were doing well. I wanted to play a part in helping them learn and create something better. But we must pass these marvelous things along with care. We wish to avoid their misuse, or for them to be twisted into harmful applications. We don't favoritize any faction. The last thing we want is to aid death and division when we've become so very fond of all of the cultures, the unique flames of life lit within billions of Bissam souls. We wish for you to retain that beautiful uniqueness by maintaining your ways and customs. We hope you'll challenge us with new ways of thinking, and that you'll one day join our cause as fellow beings linked by the strange experience of sapience. Thank you. Nulia gave Dustin a congratulatory pat on the back, and his binocular eyes swelled with water from deep emotions. It seemed as though the human was moved by the prospect of Bissams and joining humanity's pacifist cause. The reporters launched into a vigorous set of questions, asking for the Terran to expand on his points and on other things he hadn't covered, such as how the SC found Ivrana. He'll comment that they'd take interviews at a later date, while Nulia tacked on that they planned to share their culture and history through data releases. All of their knowledge dispersed through the internet to be used by all Bissams for the greater good. It was almost too good to be true, yet I didn't doubt their intentions for a second. Despite the seedy past, I found myself swept up in this new era of idealism. What Dustin outlined had been my life's dream as well. Even if it wasn't perfect, or the transcendent society my heart desired, I still yearned to learn everything about it. I was glad that an official live stream would be recording the feast that took place inside. The FAI scientists permitted to dine with guests should offer up interesting questions. The public might see the beginning of those answers outlined during our communion. Dustin turned to face me, a glimmer in his eyes. Dr. Tassi, one of the data points humanity asked to share is called the Golden Record. We attached it to the first probe that left our solar system, much like Lassman's space program did. A collection of our culture and our goodwill. We have so much more to share, but as the galaxy's sentimental people, we'd love for that to be the first thing you see of us. That sounds delightful. We attached something similar to one of our probes, a codex of greetings in our primary 4 languages. FAI scientists recorded a message as well. You may have seen our faces before. I suppose we have then. If I remember correctly, us discovering you caused quite a stir. Semi-aquatic flightless birds. All sorts of facts about Bissams made the rounds on the internet. You're the first pre-FTL civilization humanity has discovered. This is big to us as well. You stated our classification like it was noteworthy. Our birds, there aren't any other sapient birds? We know 2 of them, the Duerton and the crocodile. The human's eyes darted back and forth with jerky movements that seemed to be acknowledging the watching cameras. I'll happily provide you with a species codex when we transmit our data for your perusal. That info will probably come tonight. The Duerton are not SC members. They run their own group called the Shield. We would have brought a crocodile along with our first contact party. We almost did, but they're still a bit fractious. Complicated. We figured you'd have more in common with the water-loving Thafki. You're both drawn to it, aren't you? It's in our nature. It's why we build our nations on the coastline. It's the giver of food and comfort. I believe Haliska said you enjoy it too, despite being mammals? The Thafki blinked at the sound of her name. Humans are quite fond of the ocean. They evolved to be arboreal, but they seem to do whatever they want. There isn't much in nature you won't find that they've turned into some form of entertainment or escapism. Earth is the galaxy's entertainment capital for a reason. There's something about their enthusiasm, their willingness to take on anything, that's singular, Nulia remarked. I imagined some of their pastimes might expand your horizons. The human chuckled. Bissums already share our pastime of making memes. I bet my face is being plastered on dozens of them right now. That was a Terran word you just used? I prompted. Pictures with silly captions on the internet? That's our word for them. I know you have a different one, but I'm blanking. Say, I bet you could make one of us three exiting the vehicle and everyone staring at us. Some tagline like, how your parents look at you when you flunk a test. You're an idiot. You know millions of people can hear what we're saying? Then they'll make the memes just like that. I planted the seed. A little fun and humor wouldn't be the worst thing, and it's a way of seeing the light in what's crazy. It's a very human thing to do. Did you make memes when Calcium was bearing down on you? Of course we did, but let's not talk about that guy. Dr. Tassi, would you mind showing us to the feast? General Naltor ducked away from where he'd been giving a statement calling for cooperation between the Vritala, Selmer, and Saya subspecies. You're asking the wrong Bissum, but yes, we can show you inside. I think that went exceedingly well. You were quite personable and humble. I don't know if that'll resonate with people, but that quality of yours has impressed me, Dustin. Thanks. I respect that you want what's best for your people, General Naltor. Protecting the vulnerable is the most honorable thing any sapient can do. Attitudes like that are one of the reasons I have high hopes for Bissums to become a force for good, smashing down any preconceptions. You talk a good game, alien. Let's eat, shall we? I studied the Thafki out of my periphery, noticing her moving closer to the human. Are you all right, Haliska? I noticed the suggestion of the feast seems to spark a reaction from you. I apologize. I'll be fine. This just isn't my favorite activity, the blue-gray furred mammal muttered. I'd much rather be having a swim together, but I'm here to learn and to be a positive influence. That's right, positivity. Haliska sounded beyond unconfident, though despite my increasing suspicions over her feast anxiety, I couldn't bring myself to advise Naltor to call it off. If the alien said she was fine, then surely I was worrying about her emotional state for no reason. Thafka's demeanor could be more timid than other species. From living in a commune without a homeworld, we couldn't apply Bissum standards to these visitors, no matter how similar to us they acted. Dustin had requested not to delve into the most disquieting issues tonight, and I was willing to respect that. However, it might be worth investing more mental resources into picking up on any clues, just in case the Thafki was in a vulnerable state.